After years of legal battles and a regulatory void, Congress has passed the first federal law to govern a core sector of the crypto economy. It's called the Genius Act. President Trump held a signing ceremony at the White House today. The law marks a turning point for how digital currency will be treated in the United States. For tonight's interview, we are joined by Nick Day, who was at the signing and is a managing editor for policy at the cryptocurrency news site CoinDesk. Nick, thanks a lot for being with us. Explain to us why, the significance of this legislation.
Hey, thanks for having me. So the Genius Act, as you mentioned, governs stablecoins, which is kind of a segment of the crypto market that's focused on tokens that are tied to the value of another asset, usually the US dollar. And so they have a stable value relative to other cryptocurrencies. And the idea is that this bill will create a new regulatory framework that regulators like the Federal Reserve and the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency can use that would kind of bring this more into mainstream the financial world, and in theory impose certain regulatory safeguards to protect investors and consumers who are trying to participate in this market.
So cryptocurrency, for those who are just dipping a toe into the water here, is considered often a kind of Wild West. And this is basically, it's bringing it into the systems that are used with basically regular old currency you're familiar with.
Exactly. So stablecoins have often been used as kind of this intermediary tool where if you want to buy a cryptocurrency, you might turn, your US dollars from a bank account, you can wire that to an exchange, turn that into a stablecoin, so you have the same one-to-one value. If you put in $5, you have $5 of the stablecoin, and then you can use that to buy the cryptocurrency that you want to buy, and that might have a more volatile value or whatever. You can change that however you please, but the stablecoin will hold its value to whatever assets, the dollar or other assets that are backing it.
And if I'm a regular person watching this, are these stablecoins, is cryptocurrency for just who's using it? Will more regular people be using it now that it's subject to these kinds of regulations?
So cryptocurrencies at large are, I think, becoming an increasing part of the broader financial system. You have, a number of products. If you have a brokerage account, if you invest in the stock market, there are now products that will give you exposure to cryptocurrencies. So if you want to get into the biggest cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, you can do that through, the same app that or company that you might use to buy shares of Apple or whatever. Stablecoins are just kind of a tiny segment of this market, but it's the first of a two-part, bill process that we're seeing, a two-part legislative process. The Clarity Act, which is the other major bill that got passed through the House this week and is now on its way to the Senate, will govern the rest of this broader crypto market. And when that gets done, and right now the expectation is that it will be passed by the Senate and signed into law by the president, that will really kind of bring this market into the, more integrated with the broader financial system that we have right now.
And what will that mean if it's integrated into the broader financial system, again, for people who are just being introduced to this idea?
Yeah, I mean, I think the main things for everyday people who are just getting, used to this, you've probably seen Bitcoin in the news over the last couple of years. Prices go up, prices go down. It's been pretty volatile. Right now, Bitcoin is trading at, north of $100,000. A couple of years ago, it was less than $50,000, less than $20,000. What this really means is, I think partly the expectation is it'll become less volatile the more people that are in it. And I'm not a markets expert, so I can't speak to that. But
Nick, I'm going to have to interrupt you. We've run out of time, but we'll be back to this for sure. Thanks for being with us.